You got to chill.
This is Eleanor, founder of Crypto Canal and marketing manager at Peaceful Warrior.
Hello, this is Emily, CMO and co-founder at Peaceful Warrior and head of marketing at Honest Cash.
And I'm C. Edward Kelso, editor-in-chief out at CoinSpice.io. I have the pleasure of introducing the inaugural episode of CoinSpice and Chill. It's a podcast bringing together Eleanor Blanc of the Crypto Canal fame. She's put on hackathons. She's very well known in the developer community. And Emily Rose Delara, she is a marketing guru out at Peaceful Warrior. And of course myself are all going to come together, periodically and try to, discuss some of the issues from a human point of view that are going on in the crypto space. Between the three of us, I think we kind of come to some interesting ideas. We're extremely different people, and I find the two of them hilarious to talk to. They're extremely insightful. They travel the world. They know everybody in the space and are extremely literate. So I learn a ton. So this is very selfish for me. I get a chance to talk to these two regularly. I hope it's going to be fun for you too as a listener, and I think you are going to like it. This is our first episode, our first crack at it. The English voice, the UK voice you're going to hear is Emily Rose Delara of Peaceful Warrior. And she gets a little louder as it goes on, but the softer female voice is Eleanor Blanc of Crypto Canal. And of course, you know me, or you can ferret out who I am in the episode anyway. The basic idea being that between the three of us, we can cover a great deal of the space. Hopefully, kind of take all the highfalutin language and some of the technical jargon and push it down into biteable, easy chunks to help everybody better understand what it is that we're doing as we're learning along with you guys. So I really like this episode. We concentrated on booth babes, which is something we've been talking about within the space for a while now, and we were prompted more recently by Andreas Antonopoulos' call, his contractual call to ban booth babes and basically using women as decorations in crypto conferences. I find it a fascinating discussion. I don't think it's going to be as typical as you might expect at first. We go into a lot of different areas, and everybody here is open to changing their mind, which is the most important part of any discussion. No one is a rigid, has one rigid way. We all have points of view, but we're all willing to consider each other. So without any further ado, I'm going to give you the first episode of CoinSpice and Chill. Thanks again for listening. Andreas Antonopoulos, he is a crypto luminary par excellence, an author, coveted speaker, a perennial guest on the conference circuit. Everybody seeks him out. He posted recently his objection to booth babes, and he actually has it as part of his contract, his speaking contract, that he will not attend, and that if a conference uses booth babes in connection with something he attends, they will actually be in violation of their agreement with him. And it sparked a giant conversation about using sex in marketing, sex in crypto, women in crypto, and I have two experts on both of those subjects. So it's rare that you get a chance to do that. And as a guy, I, of course, mansplain everything. And just to put my thing right out there, I love women, naked women, and every degree within that possibility. And so to be at a conference and be around a bunch of unfuckable white guys who are just standing around going, hey, man, you listen to the C-Tour, and we've got this whole op return. Okay, and I got a chance to look at three smoking hot honeys over there with Bitcoin Cash T-shirts. I'm going to that booth. So I get it. But there's another dynamic, right? There's something that I'm missing.
Yeah, you are. But I mean, there's nothing that you're really missing because you are the absolute group target.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are the guy that these booths are trying to attract. So it's fine that you can go and mansplain everything, but it's normal that you are attracted to the booth and that you think that the booth babes are going to say other things and talk about CTOR or the next upgrade. So.
which I'm pretty sure they won't, but I hope one day they will. But
one day they will prove you different. Like,
yeah. But these girls are not hired for that. These girls are not hired to talk about CTOR and the next upgrade. So
it would be so fun though if they started talking about that though. You'd be like, oh, you're different. Like when I go to conferences and there is booth babes, number one, women are extremely attractive. I like attractive women. However, very attractive women who are stood by a booth that I might want the information about. So, for example, I go to a certain company's booth and they've got really beautiful women. And if I was a completely straight woman, I'd be like, oh, I'm not sure I'm going to go to that booth. They're really pretty women over there, even though I really need the information of their CEO or whatever, and I need to be connected with them. I'm not sure I'm going to approach them.
That is something I have it's so obvious that I have not thought of it. That's a really good point. And so are either one of you offended by the booth babe idea just as a rule?
Yes, super.
Are you willing?
Yes.
So tell us, give us a little bit of why.
So first of all, I don't agree with everything that Andreas Antonopoulos says, but I have been inspired by his talks and by the content that he's been putting out there for years. So first of all, yay to that man, even though the whole there's things now that we don't agree on, but that's fine. And I think it's really bold from him to put this in his contract. I didn't know about this, and I just think
I found that interesting.
Wow, that's a pretty strong stance for someone who's being courted to speak everywhere. So I think someone like him can actually have a huge influence in our space. And for him to take such a strong stance against booth babes is actually really, I think, inspiring. Why do I not like booth babes? Well, just from personal experience, I've been to a number of events and conferences. And the moment you have booth babes, you lose all credibility. Booth babes are a wonderful, it's like, I don't know, it's like honey for like bees or something. It's, I mean, really, like if you're doing an ICO and your goal is just like to sell a maximum of tokens, and guys, it's pre-sale and it's this really beautiful hot woman telling you that you need to get into this really fast. You're like, oh my God, yes. But
have all my money.
Of course I'm going to throw money at you. Like, you're beautiful and you're saying great things. But for me, the problem is it's using something. First of all, how old is this? Like, I thought this was 2019, so I thought, we could have better marketing today. And it's just like so cliche. It's just like, okay, crypto is a male-based industry. We're like the car industry or like the gaming industry, so we do the same thing. So we bring in booth babes because that's what people have been seeing in other industries. So why not? And it sells well, right? Or at least. But the trend is now, I think, hopefully, I think is changing, and people are now speaking out and saying, "Hey, these sexist marketing stunts are just not worth it anymore." And if our industry is to grow and to be more of a, I don't know, an industry with more credibility and that can be taken seriously, then booth babes should not be there anymore.
That's really, really interesting. And is there maybe could these booth babes be kind of canary in the mine shaft? So in other words, I'm not sure how I feel about a blanket ban on them and who would police it and what would be a violation of. And I don't want to make this about Andreas. And you were right to separate out all that and bring it into the actual substance. But I'm not sure like what constitutes. This is going to sound really stupid, and again, because I'm a man, and I've already told you I want to see it anyway. But how do you determine which is a booth babe and who's going to police it on the practical? So it sounds really great, like in the abstract, right? We're all going to be better people, and everybody at a booth is going to have a certain level of crypto literacy, but I wonder what would Andreas, again, I'm separating, I'm just using him as a metaphor. What would Andreas consider, do you think, a violation of his contract?
I think it would be a lack of literacy in crypto or in the industry in general. So, for example, I walk over to a booth and I want information on a blockchain of some kind. And these girls look beautiful, they've got the t-shirts on, you think that they are advocates for the brand, and then they say, oh, not sure, but I can set you up a wallet because I've been shown how to do that, and then I'll point you towards a website. So it's like, if you're wanting real information, you need to be able to, well, I don't know how you do it, I don't know how you govern it, but you need to prove that these people know what they're talking about, and they are employees, and they are there to help boost your business and promote your business, rather than attract unwanted attention. I don't know how they govern it though.
Yeah, and that's where I stuck, because I'm a father. I was raised a father of daughters, I should say. I was raised by a woman, and some of my best friends are women. I'm joking. So I too have, even though I love women and them being progressively naked as the day goes on, it's still, I understand, like, if I was hanging out with you two, and Eleanor has way more experience in the space than I do. She certainly does in terms of the dev community and putting on a hackathon. I've never done that. You know, and to hang out with her at a conference, and then we're walking by these bikini babes, I would be slightly embarrassed for her. Like in other words, I could see that if she just kind of goes, damn, you know, like, I've been working so hard people will come to me and talk to me about this issue, and now, you know, I can't compete. Not that she couldn't compete looks wise, but immediately she's not going to attract any attention, because, you know, she's there on a professional capacity, and she's not walking around in high heels and a string bikini. So
yeah, that's true. Like, see, I've kind of a different stance on it than Ellie. I don't think that they need to be banned. They just need to have a level of literacy. Like, what's the point otherwise? The point, like, all they're doing right now is attracting a male audience, or a female if they're into the females audience, and it's a bit contradictory of what we're trying to achieve right now.
Yeah, because I agree. Like, I mean, what is the space? What are we trying to achieve? And I think that with Booth Babes, we lose credibility, whereas we put so much work and effort into showcasing a credible, serious industry. And that's what I'm conscious about. And
like, we're a financial industry. We should be. We're a financial industry at the end of the day.
Exactly. And if you go to like a service financial providers conference, they're not walking around naked. Like, no one.
We are, the people are trusting us to kind of be behind the future of their money. So, like, what have Booth Babes got to do with the future of their money, and why should they trust us?
So I think that Booth Babes might be of the past a little bit. They might be for like the whole ICO craze, where no one they didn't care. They didn't care about which blockchain they were using, which consensus algorithm they were doing. They didn't care. People didn't care. They were just like, wow, you know, I don't know, the next ICO to legalize marijuana, and yay. And, you know, and if it's given to you by a pretty girl, then why not? But I feel like our space is growing. And first of all, people are not calling for ICOs anymore, or less. And I think that Booth Babes are just, it worked during the hype, basically. And now that we're in the bear market, and we're looking at the details, and we're looking at the development of each project, and we're like really, you know, keeping track on those who are still there and who are still working, they want to showcase their work. If you have nothing to showcase but pretty girls, then that's a red flag for me. If you're you paid money to be at a conference, I know how much it costs. It's quite expensive to have a booth, to print everything, to have your staff there, everything. If the only thing you can showcase are Booth Babes, it shows that you don't have content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And it's also about how you value yourself as a business. Like, by having Booth Babes, you're kind of depreciating the value in yourself. What do you think on that? Is that quite a controversial thing to say?
No, that's I guess that is kind of my larger point. So, me personally, I don't want a conference to be policed in that manner. But then again, it's not my conference, and you know, there's so many moving parts. I'd rather have it be that you allow the businesses to express themselves in the marketing manner in which they desire, because I think that tells me everything. So just as Eleanor said, and just as you Emily piggybacked on, now I know. Okay, so you're the dirtbag with the booth babes. You know what I mean? Like I know that, you know, obviously you lack substance, so I'm gonna go somewhere else. But then again, you know, we're in a very crowded space, so I'm gonna try to steal woman then, if you will, steel man the booth babe argument. We're in a very crowded space. You need to differentiate yourself. You do know that most of the people attending will be men, and you do know what men like generally, you know, as stereotypically. And so a pretty, you normally younger, you know, woman standing at your booth handing out stuff is you know, really not something we can fight. I mean, it's from time immemorial. Everybody loves a beautiful woman. So on that end, I would kind of rather let 1,000 flowers bloom, and then, you know, let the market decide. So your business, just to even take it one step further, which really has kind of nothing to do with this, in a roundabout way, but we have a billionaire, a very famous billionaire in the space, who sets himself up as a playboy. And so he goes around and travels the world and likes to ski behind boats and be on islands and all sorts of great stuff. And he fancies himself taking pictures alone, draped in females. And I'm kind of veering from the tag woman here. They they are increasingly looking younger and younger and younger as he gets older and older and older. And I would rather have him post those pictures and tell me more about himself that way than him hide behind virtue signaling and put up a picture of him and a woman in a power suit standing there, because one's a lie and one's the truth. And one's a lie that's telling the greater truth. Does any of this make any sense?
That's interesting, yeah. That's a really interesting stance on it, actually.
And people are piling on this dude. I mean, he just went on Twitter and posted a ridiculously awful picture of himself. But
that's his choice. That's his complete freedom to do whatever he wants and how he wants to presents himself on social media. Like,
that's true. That is true. But then that leads to a different point. Okay, this leads to oh my god, we have opened a kind of worms here, guys. So okay, he can showcase himself in that way, right? And he can also have his professional appeal, right? So he can be, he can show himself professionally, he can show himself on social media because he's got the freedom to do that. Okay. But is that detrimental to his professional brand or not?
It is.
We judge him on that. That's what it comes down to at the end. And we've been having this discussion previously, and it all comes down again to women. So, for example, I might want to wear a bikini and a crop top, and I know about crypto. I don't know everything, but I know if you ask me a question, I'll probably be able to answer it. And you can put me on a booth, and I'll be able to challenge people, and I'll be able to showcase a brand. If I have a bikini on and a crop top, does that mean I have less value in myself, even if I can answer all those questions? And could you compare me to a booth girl? Like, would you still think of me in the same way of the booth girl if I could answer your questions? Like, would you still criticize me in the same way that we criticize booth girls? It's kind of like, I've just swung this back around again. Sorry, guys, but it kind of comes back down to that. And like,
no, it's
where I'm showcasing myself.
It really is the point that I'm trying to get at. So we have a gentleman who's associated with a $1 billion crypto project, and on the same account of which he's posting all these wonderful things about a coin he's associated with and all the advances they're making in the tech. And there are lots of people who have joined him in the effort to bring about the one true blockchain to rule them all. Mm-hmm. And then he posts this stuff. To me, it goes to the heart of his judgment. It goes to the heart of his decision making. And now the market is coming in. Now there's a lot of brigading. There's obviously people will hate on him because he has a point of view, and they hate him for other reasons. But I would rather that be out there. But your point is very, very well taken. So what do we say about the Emilys of the world, who can do both, who can flash the bikini and
Emily, that's a really good question, actually. I was really like, oh gosh, how do I step out of this sticky one? Because like, indeed, like, but I know you, like I work with you. So like, if you go and step out on a booth and you're like in your swimming suit or whatever, I know that it's you. So I guess I would not judge you on that level. I'd be like, okay, it's Em, and I know that you love the outfit you're wearing, and you're here for a reason, and you're converting people, and you're teaching them, and you're passionate, and I know you have the knowledge. I feel like I would indeed it would be different for me. I think I would see that completely differently.
Well, if you could put yourself in the shoes of a guy who knows nothing about you or your brand.
Yeah.
What do you think then? Because the guy potentially will come over to the brand and speak to you.
Yep.
Will he, if I had a girl next to me who didn't know much, but she was very beautiful, I think that he would quickly understand that she doesn't know enough, and actually he'd come over to the booth because he actually does need information, because he needs to go and like fulfill his tasks at work or whatever and make connections. So then he will quickly move on to the other booth babe, aka me in the bikini, who knows stuff about crypto. So it's like it goes back to the whole booth babe thing. Like, it shouldn't be completely banned, and we shouldn't judge people straight away until we've talked to them, I guess. Like these booth girls that we're speaking about, they may or may not know anything about crypto. In most cases, they don't.
But the question is not about their knowledge. Like, I understand that's the point that you've been making. You were trying to say, okay, but what happens if she knows a bit about crypto? That's not... I don't think we should think about those girls and be like, oh yeah, they need to have a test, and then we can police the event, and then, if you score, 9 out of 10 on the Satoshi test, whatever, then you're good to go. You can be on a booth. I think the responsibility doesn't lie with these girls for so on. Why? Yeah. It's not about that. No, it's about the businesses who are hiring these professional girls who are doing their job. Like, it's not about them. Like, it's about the business to portray themselves like that. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I can only talk from my experience at BT.com, but like, when we participated in events and we were at conferences, like, it was important for us that our team was there and that we had knowledgeable people, that we had people from our finance department. We also had our support. We had our marketing. Like, we were there and we knew the product, and we wanted to onboard people to our wallet, and we wanted to make sure that the people who were being onboarded had a nice time, learned, and were able to have proper value out of their interaction with us. And next door was like, a booth stand, and there was no one there as well. So booth babes are supposedly supposed to attract more customers and clients. But in the end, people can also be turned off and see that as just a marketing stunt, and are not going to stop because they think, oh gosh, it's just pretty girls. So yeah, whatever. And I'm not doubting that these girls might have great insight and knowledge, but the moment you dress up in a certain way as a woman, you do lose. People stop listening to you. They just look at you. So why would anything that comes out of your mouth make sense? Like, why would that be valuable if you're there and you're just being super sexy?
It's a waste of time. Like, I go to conference. I don't like going to conferences. I go because it's part of the job, and I need, you just need to grow your contacts. And sometimes there's good speakers on. So you go, the program, you know what you need to do, you know the people you need to speak to. And it kind of is just like, oh, if there's like booth babes there, you just can't be bothered. It's like, okay, we'll just sidetrack this business. You could have done a good deal with them, or you could have made a good contact with them, but nah, I just miss them because actually I can't be doing with the booth babes. They're in the way right now, in the way of what I need.
For me, it's a turn off. For me, it's a turn off. Like, because there's so many at these blockchain crypto, there's so much people to talk to. There's already so many things to do and see and learn. Why would you stop to just talk to pretty girls? You can do that any day of your life.
We're there for a reason. We need to get shit done. We're not there to have fun, guys.
Well, it's that, and maybe to add just a little bit of salt, maybe the booth babes themselves get a chance to be exposed to something they've never even heard of. And
also, yeah, okay, you can say that they can.
We are actually
First
getting
opportunity, yes.
into the crypto world.
I'm the civil rights I'm the Martin Luther King of booth babes. I'm trying to push their rights forward. But I have to admit, I do like the proliferation of booth babes and having a total war of how literate each one is and giving them tests. I love it.
I will be on the door this time. I will test them all. The more beautiful, the better. Okay.
And an enterprising podcast or video person that's looking for content could go up to those booth babes and just and poll them and do exactly the opposite of what the company was trying to do. You could just go up and say, hey, so how do I download? I don't know. Here's a flyer. Get out of my face. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway.
Well, for marketing.
Well, very good. First off, you guys have had a very long day, both of you. I'm just starting mine here in the United States, and Emily is in Saigon, and Eleanor is in Amsterdam. So they have had full working days. I told them I'd keep them on for just a little bit, and I've kept them on way too long. Thanks for coming on. I learned a ton. Thanks for a great discussion.
My pleasure.
My pleasure also. Thank you so much, Kelso.
You gotta keep it spicy.